from White Bear Lake Area High School and your Eagan Wildcats. Let's meet the starting lineups for today's game. First, the starting lineup for the visiting White Bear Lake Bears, starting with the goalkeeper, senior, wearing number 0, Mason Hunter. Defense, senior number 3, Nicholas O'Brien. Defense, junior number 4, Eli Trickle. Midfield, junior number 7, Ryan Dufresne. Forward, senior number 9, Gavin Rogers. Midfield, junior number 10, Porter Drust. Forward, junior number 15, Charlie Olson. Midfield, junior number 17, Colin Thompson. Forward, senior number 24, Connor Mosier. Forward, sophomore number 25, Cooper Peschman. And midfield, senior number 36, Joe Wallach. And we have 3 additions to the White Bear Lake roster for today's game. Please add number 6, Caleb Anderson. Add number 28, Ian Beaker. And add number 31, Ian Cran. The assistant coaches for the White Bear Lake Area Bears, Mike Knutson, Stefan Gendy, and Mike Bickle. The head coach of the White Bear Lake Area Bears is Carl Gendy. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our visitors to Wildcat Stadium this afternoon, the White Bear Lake Bears. Now let's meet the starting lineup for your Eagan Wildcats. Starting with the goalkeeper, senior number 1, Isaac Woodley. Midfield, junior number 2, Gabriel Frost. Defense, senior number 3, Captain Caden Larson. Defense, senior number 4, Captain Donald Ty. Defense, junior number 8, Jack Joseph. Forward, junior number 10, Derek Sy. Midfield, senior number 15, Evan Siljan. Midfield, senior number 18, Captain Nicholas Cron. Defense, senior number 22, Parker Jensen. Defense, junior number 5, Alex Newton. Defense, junior number 17, Daniel Redland. The Wildcats assistant coaches are Dave Bland and Trevor Hemphill. The head coach of the Eagan Wildcats is Tim Foley. Ladies and gentlemen, your Eagan Wildcats. The officials for today's game, the center referee is Arkady Tonkacho. The assistant referees are Jason Gear and James Ryan. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, the national anthem will be played. The flag is located at the north end of Wildcat Stadium.
Welcome everybody to Wildcats Stadium. I'm Nathan Cron, joined today by Skip Newton. You've heard us on the girls broadcast, and today we've been brought back together, kind of putting the band back together to take on the White Bear Lake Bears. The Eagan Wildcats come into this game with a record of 6-6-1. The Bears are 6-3-2. It's going to be a battle between two teams, both looking to get a little bit higher in their sections. And Skip, today the Wildcats wearing blue and white against the Bears wearing white and orange. What are you expecting today?
I'm expecting a good, close game. What I really want to see, especially from the Eagan side, is that back line to hold better and not give up early goals. In Thursday's loss at Lakeville South, giving up 4 goals in the first half was that's a really tough way to win a soccer game. And if they can come out and hold steady and allow the midfield and forward to work the ball up the field and get a lead, I think that'll be a huge momentum build for the Wildcats, and that's what they need today, because they really need to win this game.
Well, the Wildcats come into this game having beaten Prior Lake and then losing 2 games in a row to Apple Valley, who's in the section, and Lakeville South not in the section, but certainly in the South Suburban Conference. Wildcats will be wearing blue, as I said, with white letters, white and orange here for the White Bear Lake Bears, and we'll talk a little bit about them here in a moment. Eagan will be moving left to right on your screen, and we're underway. So the defensive pairing as an early shot, early opportunity here as Woodley stops a shot and turns another aside. Isaac Woodley showing why he's perhaps one of the most valuable players on this team, maybe the MVP candidate for the year, turning away multiple shots.
Their first.
Skip, you mentioned earlier that the defense needs to get straightened out. Didn't look very straight in there.
Yeah, I was going to say that is not the answer we were looking for. An aggressive start by the Bears there. They work it down the field quickly. They didn't bother to pass it back and possess it. They came on the attack. Excellent job by Woodley to make those saves, especially the second one. That thing had the corner written all over it. So hopefully Eagan can pick things up a little bit and get going here.
And ball goes harmlessly out of bounds. We're going to reset the defense for you, reset everybody, and get a chance to talk about the lineup. We do have a new center back pairing of Alex Newton and Daniel Redlin. Both players coming into the lineup, giving Coach Foley a little more athleticism perhaps, and certainly a little more aggressiveness. Moving Parker Jensen up to the forward position. So that'll be an interesting change as he brings a lot of physical play to a forward position that's usually populated by small, fast guys. And then Aiden Burns is going to be moving to outside back, so they'll have 2 pairs of outside backs. Today we've got Larson and Ty at the outside back positions with, check that, we've got Burns and Larson at the outside back positions. Ty is your center defensive midfielder. Derek Sy there taking the ball away, moving up the field. Has Siljan, as he looks for Cron, has Siljan and Frost. Now Cron battling there. Nice, lovely touch by Donald Ty. Frost going to make a run here off of a ball from Cron. Ball's not going to get down far enough. White Bear Lake's going to turn it around.
Well, that was a nice pass down in the corner there. Unfortunately, the defense for the Bears recovered quickly. Nice step up there by Alex Newton to win that ball for his team, see if they can push it down and keep it into the Bears' end. Good control here by the Wildcats. Looking to get across. This is Johnson down in the corner. Nice cross, unfortunately. That's played well by Mason Hunter, the senior goalkeeper for the Bears. He's going to roll it out to number 36. That's Joe Wallach. Nice recovery defense there by Frost. Well played.
Sy looking for Cron. Can he slide it through? Cron's now. Sy held onto it just too long there, Skip. Siljan, mishit. Jensen with it. Sends a shot towards its block. Well done. And Siljan's going to send that high. That's going to get out. White Bear Lake late, thinking that was going to go out. Frost gives away the opportunity.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen Frost deliver that one right back into the middle when he had that chance. It took him a little bit longer to settle the ball than I think he would have normally liked. And that caused the defense, gave the defense a chance to catch up.
Newton with a nice touch out to Burns. Burns dribbles into trouble and now has to recover. He does a good job to take it away there from White Bear. And Daniel Redland comes over to send it into touch. It's a situation where the Wildcats have from time to time, Skip, not done a great job of knowing when to get rid of the ball. They've tended to dribble into trouble sometimes. And certainly would like to see that as the season moves on. I'd like to see that reduced in frequency.
Yeah, the one thing I did like on that last play is as the ball got past a couple of defenders, the other defenders backed them up, and it was a good team defensive effort, something that you don't necessarily assume will happen for a group of back line that hasn't played together a lot.
Well, communication will be key, as Parker Jensen had an opportunity there in the penalty area there for the Wildcats. So he's going to be called for offsides. Might have been a foul. I think we're going to call that a foul.
Wildcats are offside.
Check that. That was offsides. Little known fact, these teams actually did scrimmage each other during the captain's practice portion of the season. There's a number of varsity and junior varsity players for Eagan. A fairly large varsity contingent for the Bears up at White Bear Lake High School, or their stadium. And it was, a spirited affair, but again, everyone knew it was a captain's practice, so no one was going over the top in terms of their physical play. I'd imagine that today we would have, as you said, Skip, a very close game. Eagan sticking with their traditional 4-4-2, 4 diamond in the middle. Coach Foley did indicate there would be more runs from the outside backs in this game, so he would be substituting those outside backs very frequently. Ball ahead for Jensen. Let's see if Jensen can do something with it. Doesn't quite fall for him the way he'd like. Crod's actually dropping back closer into a midfield role. Ball gets played through by White Bear. Burns is going to watch that ball go out of bounds smartly and sends it up the field, but can't connect. It's a shot
for the Bears. Joe Wallach,
the goal.
36 is on goal. The save by Isaac Woodley.
Joe Wallach there on the near side, proving obviously very dangerous here for the White Bear Bears.
It's a nice job by the defense to keep that to the outside. I think they would yield that narrow shot pretty much all day long. That's got a very low chance of going in.
And well done by all 3 players there to avoid a collision. Last thing anybody wants to do this close to sections is get hurt.
That's the second time now I've seen Burns do a really good job of shielding the ball with his body. He's got a size advantage against the left forward, number 25 of the White Bear Lake Bears. So excellent job there using that advantage to win the ball.
Size sends it forward, stays for a second. It looked like it might stay in for Donald Ty, but it didn't. Check it, that's Caden Larson on the far side.
Well, that was that outside run that we just talked about that you want to see from those outside backs. It was a great run. It just didn't quite connect on the pass. Otherwise, that would have been a nice opportunity to push the ball downfield into the corner.
Well, the girls' team has sometimes struggled with stringing passes together, and the boys' team has had some of those same struggles. As Ty turns it over here in the midfield, it's cleaned up by Newton nicely, sending it into touch. I was going to say, to finish the point, though, if the Wildcats can string together 5 to 6 passes in the attacking half, they tend to be very successful in terms of creating chances. Back looking for Peschman. very young team here for the White Bear Lake Bears. Only 5 seniors on this entire varsity roster. Cron with a nice touch and a turn. Controls it, now loses it. Falls for Derek Sy. Sy sends it forward to Jensen. Could not slide it through. Nicely done by Derek Sy, looking for his teammate. Now Frost with space. Frost with the move, he's continuing. Sends it towards goal. Nicely done. Nice bit of skill there by Gabe Frost.
He did a great job getting into space so he could get that cross off. Unfortunately, the defender got over and just got enough of that ball, so it deflected into the goalkeeper instead of to one of the forwards looking to one-time that into the net.
You certainly hope that it won't end up as it ended up against Lakeville South. But talking to Coach Foley before the game, it seems like when this team has, the Wildcats have bad luck or a bad run of play, things multiply very badly. And here's the through ball to Cron. Cron's got an opportunity. He's in on goal, turns, tries to feed a teammate. Now still hasn't lost the ball. I believe what's going to happen here, I think he's going to call it a foul. He's going to call a dangerous play on Cron. That's really unlucky for Cron. Nice interception there by Redlin.
That was easily the best goal-scoring chance of the game for the Wildcats. Unfortunately, Cron was defended just enough where he couldn't get his shot off and then couldn't find a teammate to pass it to for another opportunity. But great through ball on that previous pass, as now White Bear Lake tries to do the same.
Newton hustling back to deny Olsen. Ball well over everyone, falls for Sy, and Sy's got all sorts of space. Plays it ahead for Siljan. Siljan can't get the handle on it. Really unfortunate there. That's an example where the Wildcats really need to have better possession and better ball control. They had all sorts of space and ended up turning the ball over to White Bear in the middle of the field.
Yeah, it's those unforced errors that you really gotta watch out for. Oh, it's a nice through ball.
That's a beautiful
unfortunately.
ball. And
Good
it falls
Eagan recovery.
just for Larson. Larson sends it wide. And we'll have our first corner of the game for the Bears.
Corner kick upcoming for White Bear
Excellent
Lake.
recovery
This will
there
be
by
their second
Larson. Unfortunately,
on the far side this time.
I think just as Woodley was going to pick up that ball as the
Moving over
goalkeeper,
to take the kick
Larson
for
took no
the Bears.
chances and
Ryan
kicked it away,
Dufresne,
so it
number
results in
7.
a really good scoring opportunity here. Corner kick for the Bears.
Check it, that's actually their second corner of the game. And the ball will go harmlessly out of play for a
Goal kick Wildcats.
Wildcats have to,
Last shot for the
it's fair
Bears
to say that if the
by
Wildcats do
Alan
cut
Thompson, number
out
17,
those,
and
as you say,
wide.
those
One substitute
unforced
for the
errors,
Wildcats.
as you said, Skip, almost like a tennis term.
Johnson, number
They cut
13.
those out. I think they're going to be very effective here today, but cannot continue to turn the ball over. That's an unlucky bounce. Unlucky bounce for Newton. And unfortunately, as unlucky bounces sometimes impact center backs,
Foul called on the Wildcats for
it's going to create a
handball
free kick for an
violation.
opportunity for the Bears.
Free kick upcoming for
They're
White
about
Bear Lake.
25 yards out.
The one thing I would like to see tightened up on that play as it progresses, the White Bear Lake forwards or midfielder, whoever's in there, had a lot of space to control that ball and look for a play. I would like to see us pressure that more aggressively and not give them so much space when they're in the attacking third.
Rogers over it. He's their leading scorer. He's going to send it goalward. And nice as you like by Isaac Woodley. Nicely done by the senior. Tries to hit Johnson on the long pass. Doesn't quite connect. One of the things Woodley has done very well this year is distribute the ball, Skip. He's done an excellent job of pushing the ball from side to side and moving it around, and certainly not being predictable and allowing the defense to step. And there's an opportunity for the White Bear leg. Oh, and we have an offsides. We had an offsides. We had an offsides flag.
Wow. I'm not sure how that ball managed to get in. But an early goal here for the Bears. Looking at the replay. Gets by a couple of players there. Fires a shot. It's partially saved, and Larson was there. Couldn't quite get to the ball in time before it crossed the goal line. So setting that up was Cooper Peschman.
Assisted goal scored by number 25, Cooper Peschman. It is unassisted in the 14th minute. The time of the goal is 13 minutes, 25 seconds. Bears goal scored by Cooper
And I think the celebration was fairly muted. Fairly muted, Skip, because there was an offside flag that went up on the far side of the field. I think everybody thought that this would be ruled offsides. And I think what happened is the assistant referee saw another White Bear player in an offside position, but that player didn't receive the ball. Peschman did, and that's as a result the goal is going to stand.
In order to make that call, of course, the person that's offsides has to gain an advantage on the play. Otherwise, they won't call it. And I think what you're suggesting is that there was no advantage gained. That number 25 there, Peschman, just dribbled around a couple of players, and he took it in himself. So probably a good non-call, unfortunately.
Yeah, unlucky for the Wildcats there, but I certainly the Wildcats simply can't switch off. It's almost as if the defense or whoever was back there just switched off a little bit. Not sure that they saw that flag up or not, but in any event, the Wildcats find themselves down 1-0. I think the key here, to follow the pattern, Skip, is not to let this become 2-0 or 3-0 very quickly. Get back quickly and strike back quickly. White Bear taking advantage of a fair amount of space in the midfield. Wildcats not just, and here's a completely unmarked Bears player. It's going to send it goalward. Nice diving save that time by Woodley. And right now the Bears are absolutely dominating the shots.
Peschman, number 25.
And they're dominating the scoreboard. I'm not sure how Peschman gets so wide open on the back.
That was a great cross to a wide open player. Eagan caught napping and not paying attention there on the far side of the ball, that is. Fortunately, no second goal is scored, as the shot was not a very good one.
There needs to be much more intensity out on the field with respect to defense and man marking, and that's not just on the defenders; it's on the midfielders as well, to make sure that they're picking up. If the Bears are pushing up 3 or 4 forwards, somebody has to come back and help the defenders. A bit of ball watching, perhaps. Peschman trying to run through everybody. Ty sends it towards Cron. Cron's going to try to get it down on his feet, uses body nicely, spins, turns. Peschman goes for the tackle, can't do it. Cron's going to set this up. See if he's going to cross or he's going to put the Jets on. He's going to put the Jets on. Try to dribble through just too many players. Probably would have been better served trying to serve that in. There's a long ball here down deep for Rogers. Rogers tries to cross it. Redland blocks. Nicely done. Rogers finds Dufresne on the far side. Dufresne finds the fence.
Wildcats. Ryan Dufresne, number 7, with the shot that is wide.
There's definitely too much action down in the Eagan defensive third. They need to get some pressure on the Wildcats, on the Bears. Wildcats aren't producing goal-scoring opportunities, and they have to figure something out here because they're just not connecting passes and moving it down the field like we want them to do.
Missed an earlier substitution. Ryan Leonard's coming back from his injury hiatus, took the place of Derek Sy. And Derek Sy is actually going to come in and take Parker Jensen's spot and move into the forward position. It's good to see Ryan Leonard's, the junior captain, back on the field. Had a bit of an injury problem, came back from it, maybe came back a little bit too soon and re-injured it or re-aggravated it. So now he's spent the requisite number of days rehabbing and getting better, healing, and this team's going to need him as they move forward through sections. Woodley's going to catch that just as nice as you like.
A long ball there by the defense, but probably too long. I mean, that was an easy play for Woodley. I would like to see if our team is kicking that, you want that ball to drop just past the 18 and give your forwards a chance to make a play and keep it out of the goalkeeper's hands.
Foul there on Kron. A little bit of frustration from the senior captain. Was booked and received a yellow card caution in the 4-1 loss to Lakeville South. Very intense competitor. And definitely somebody who doesn't take too well to a lopsided result. Maintaining positivity, Coach Foley referenced it before the game, maintaining positivity on the field after something goes wrong is going to be very, very important. It's going to be up to Kron, Larson, Ty, and Leonard's, the captains, to do that. Some contact there in the box, but to everyone's credit, no shouts for a penalty. Leonard's pushes it wide for Frost. Frost now has an opportunity. Kron's breaking his neck. Frost is going to send it forward. Frost does not put enough on it, but now he follows it up. Gets it to Kron. Kron tries to chip it over to Sy. Sy was not quite sure what Kron was going to do with that ball. Peschman trying a bit of a circus kick there. Ball does go out, fortunately, for a White Bear throw.
That was a bit unlucky there as Peschman tried, like you said, a circus kick, and it threw off Burns and then ended up just barely deflecting off of him for a Bears throw-in.
Here's another situation. Donald Ty, Donald Ty playing the center defensive midfield roll skip. He kicks, he gets the ball at his feet, and he sends it right at a White Bear player. And that's a situation where, you work hard to get possession of the ball, but Eagan gives it away just a bit too easy.
Yeah, and a couple of these balls where they're going long, they're not getting them long enough. They're not getting it either through the back line of the Bears or over the heads. We saw that on the last run up the field here where Nicholas Kron was making a great run and the ball just wasn't played far enough by Frost, unfortunately, because that was a good scoring opportunity developing there.
Shots on goal, 5-1 in favor of White Bear, including the goal, and that's just not going to get it done as Frost has it bounced off the back of his head. Redland now falls for Redland, traps it down with his chest nicely, but again sends it forward and it finds a White Bear player. You get a sense that if Wildcats would just play a little easy like they did there, although Johnson failed to keep it in bounds. I mean, that's another unforced error, Skip Newton.
Yeah, that was tough. They had the right idea, a nice little give and go, the two-man game. They just couldn't quite connect. Here we have an opportunity, a potential 3-on-3. Unfortunately, Sy couldn't get it past his defender.
Excellent tackle by Ryan Leonards. Frost with it now. What's he going to do with it? He's going to serve it in, look for Sy. It's going to fall. Ty has all sorts of room. He's going to do something with it. Turn, Sy, an opportunity. That's going to deflect out for a corner. And the Wildcats might have now their best scoring opportunity of the half, even though we're 22 minutes in.
Bit of a nice gift there is the spin shot from that distance, left foot. That's a tough shot to get past a goalkeeper at this level, but it deflects out of bounds for a corner kick. Would love to see the Wildcats capitalize here.
Substitutions for Eagan we'll get to in just a second after this corner kick. Hackenmuller's going to stand over it and send it into the penalty area. Johnson rises up to get it. Brassel will give chase. And Brassel with a brilliant move to keep that ball in. Now he takes the ball from Frost. Brassel heading towards the corner. Sends it across, but no one's there. Jacob Brassel, one of the new substitutions, along with Nate McKinnon on the far side. Davis Hackenmuller, who stood over that corner, replaced Cron. So the outside backs have been replaced by Coach Foley. As Redland gets a touch to it there. Let's see Frost keep this in. He does. He sends it into a no man's land. The Bears get control. And so far, Skip, it appears that Bears offense not overly complex or creative necessarily, but very much trying to play through balls and run onto it so far. Your thoughts?
Yeah, right. I mean, there's nothing super fancy about the attack. You know, they're really winning the game, I think, by winning a lot of those 50-50 balls and just possessing the ball better and creating scoring chances when they get it down to the Wildcat half. And if the Wildcats can get a little more aggressive at midfield and start winning those and connecting some passes, they can negate what White Bear Lake's doing. And here's an advantage too, where an aggressive play by White Bear Lake almost won that ball. Fortunately, Frost saw him coming in time and adjusted his speed and won it. Now here's a chance.
Frost has got to be paying better attention. I mean, he didn't know the defender was coming, and that time he didn't know Brassau was bombing forward. Brassau's got to let him know, and Frost has to be aware, because that was another unforced error. An opportunity for Frost to play the ball to Brassau in the corner, give him an opportunity for a cross, and now we're looking at a White Bear throw-in. Those are the kinds of things that, you know, if you're a football team, if you're on a football team, you have to go back and fix that and rep that over and over and over again.
Yeah, that should be a relatively easy pass to connect, and like you said, it would have resulted in a likely cross. And that's what Eagan is looking for. They're doing a better job of getting it onto that outside, especially on the near touchline. And they've had a few crosses. A couple have gone too close to the goal, but if they can get those out, 15, 18 yards away, then they've got a chance.
And Villasenor and Johnson had come in for the Wildcats. Frost will be replaced by Villasenor, and then of course Johnson on the far side replacing I believe Peyton Jensen. No, check that. It was Johnson. McKinnon will give chase. Nicely done by Nate McKinnon. Sends it forward. Midfielder did not. Johnson has to get back a little faster. McKinnon's on his own, but he wins the throw-in. Nice play by Nate McKinnon. Junior outside defender has taken some time to get adjusted here to the varsity style and speed of play, but never been any doubt about his physical abilities or his intensity.
Yeah, he did a great job of winning that ball and then possessing it enough where he could actually pass it up the line. But like you said, the midfielder needs to get back and give him an easy pass. Otherwise, it's just going to be a turnover, and they're going to ram it right down our throats again.
Nice play by Redland, looking for somebody up front. White Bear really with 4 defenders, but they're actually dropping a center a midfielder very, very deep. So White Bear definitely setting up for defense. Setting up for defense, and maybe setting up for a defense with a quick counter, and that would play along with the offensive style we've seen so far, Skip, with them pushing the ball forward and looking for through balls, defend, and then counterattack.
Yeah, exactly. Their attack has really it's been a lot of the long balls. They're testing the speed of that Wildcats back line, and for the most part, the Wildcats have stepped up. I mean, at least on those through passes. I mean, the one goal was scored as a result of a couple players just getting beat off the dribble. It was not a race of the ball that they lost.
Brassau finds Villasenor. Villasenor dribbles and finds Ty. Ty has an opportunity. Johnson was running away from the ball. Ty's going to get that ball to him. Redland steps in, lets his arms go limp so that we don't get a handball. Nicely done there by McKinnon to step into it. Sy coming back. Now he takes possession of it. He's got Hackenmuller up with him. Sy's going to make a run here. He's got an opportunity. He's going to blow by the defender. Derek Sy into the penalty area. Hackenmuller in the middle. Hackenmuller left foot. It's right on goal, but rising up. And Mason Hunter able to make the save. Nice play by Sy. Good shot by Hackenmuller, but unfortunately right at Hunt.
Yeah, he had a lot of net to shoot at, of course, playing the ball with his off foot. And I know from years of experience of watching Davis play, he's got a killer right foot. The left foot is a lot tougher, and I loved his decision there. He did not have time to try to move that over to his strong foot. He made the right call. Unfortunately, like you said, hit it right at the goalkeeper. Anywhere else, and that probably gets by him. He was so close. And an awesome setup by Sy.
Yeah, well, we have an offsides call here against the Wildcats, and I'm going to take issue. I don't know if you can see it at home. A White Bear player made a play on the ball. He made a play on the ball, and I believe he touched the ball. And so we had a Wildcat player in offside position, but he should have been able to receive the ball in an offside position because the ball came off of a White Bear player. I think that's a bad call. In fact, the center referee even questioned the AR as to whether that was legitimate. But in any event, we have Michael Johnson with the ball. Now he finds McKinnon. McKinnon needs to make a good decision here. It wasn't a bad decision, but the execution wasn't quite where it needed to be. Brasso trying to steal a throw in there from the Bears.
Worth a shot for sure. You never know.
Absolutely. Newton's going to give chase here. I think we're going to get a foul here. We will have a foul against the Wildcats. Wildcats 5 fouls to 0 against the White Bear Lake Lakers. Excuse me, White Bear Lake Bears. Sorry.
So it looked like what happened there when Brasso realized that Newton was going to go over and make that play, tried to correctly cut into the middle of the field to back up Newton, and he must have just clipped the back of the heel of the Bears attacker. An unfortunate, misstep. He clearly wasn't attempting to trip him, but just caught his heel.
Brian sends in a nice nice crossing pass or kick. Ball's going to roll out for a goal kick. And you're absolutely right, Skip. I think that's what happened. Brasso was trying to cover for his teammate, and unfortunately, unwittingly gave up or conceded the free kick.
One thing that might be more advantageous, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, the back line, there's a couple of newer players, especially Alex Newton. This is only his second varsity game, but making sure that they're communicating so Brasso knows that Newton's going to come over and make that play. He's got to make sure he calls that ball loudly, and then Brasso can make a decision earlier.
Ball's going to go out of bounds off of White Bear. So the Wildcats will have a throw on the far side. You've got Hackenmuller and Sy, even though Sy's coming back. Hackenmuller and Sy are your forwards. Resetting your lineup, you've got Villasenor, Ty, Lennertz, and Johnson in your midfield. Villasenor tries to get it over at Hackenmuller. Hackenmuller sends it. Oh, just couldn't squeeze through for Brasso. It was a nice attempt. And now the defense is going to have to break their necks to get back. Newton giving chase. Olsen with it. Nicely done by Alex Newton, sending that out into touch. Excuse me. That's going to go actually for a corner kick. Thought that might actually go towards the stands. Instead, it didn't.
Ball out of bounds off the Wildcats. Corner kick upcoming for White Bear Lake. This will be their third.
Third of the half.
From the near side.
And nice recovery speed there by Newton to prevent the breakaway or a cross to an open teammate. Unfortunately, results in a corner kick.
Ball comes in. Great effort there by the Bears. A foul called on the Bears.
Attempted the bicycle kick, but you can't do that when there's other guys there sticking their head near the ball. That's the definition of a dangerous play.
Yeah, that's exactly what was called.
Playing indirect free kick, Wildcats.
Ty knocks it down, but gives it right to the Bears. Now Ty intercepts. Again, gives it right back to the Bears. Donald Ty's got to find other feet. He's got to find Eagan feet with these passes. Just too many balls going right to White Bear. As Newton comes over and plays it inside for Villasenor. Villasenor chips it over to Ty. Now Donald's got an opportunity. He's got a little bit of green space. Finds Johnson on the far side. Inside out with Cy. Cy's going to send it nicely done back to Johnson. Johnson got an opportunity to make a run. Cy's going to do what he can here as McKinnon's got to get out of his way. Nicely done there by Redlin. Like this extended sense of possession here by the Wildcats. Villasenor dribbling, gives it back to Ty. Ty's going to look for someone. Again, passing it right to the Bears. The ball's going to roll out here for a Wildcat throw, but that's 3 times in the last minute. Donald Ty has turned the ball over. He's got to be better in that defensive midfield position in terms of connecting with his teammates. I think he's forcing it just too much, Skip. I think he's trying to force things, and perhaps that's what happens when you're down by a goal, but he's trying to force it too much.
Yeah, he's definitely rushing his plays. That's a great save. Great save again, keeping this to a 1-goal game.
Oh, it's like everybody switched off on defense. So there was a play on the near side, but then everyone on the back side who had to cover was just standing and ball watching. Olsen had a wonderful run. Olsen really should have scored there. Eagan with a nice job to get rid of that corner. Villasenor with it. Going to send it forward to Lennartz. Lennartz is going to trip over the ball. Comes back to Villasenor. He's going to hoof it forward for Cy. Cy's got runners. He's got Hackenmuller in the middle. Slides it forward for Davis. Hackenmuller to the side. Nice attempt there. Somebody's got to get to it. Brastow's going to send it forward. Falls for Johnson. The ball's going to get sent out of the attacking half by the Bears. It's going to be played back to Woodley. Peschman's going to go down. Check that. That's Watson's going to go down in a heap. And the ball's going to go out of bounds. 4:43 remaining here for the Wildcats, who trail by a score of 1-0. The way the Wildcats have played, really haven't troubled Hunter too much here in this half, and they're conceding far too many fouls and making too many unforced errors. Yet they only find themselves down by 1 goal.
Yeah, for the majority of this half, it just feels like the Bears have a little more intensity. They seem lighter on their feet. They're winning those 50-50 balls more often, and I think that's really the difference in the game. I think Egan's just got to pick up the intensity a little bit. That's a great pass. Unfortunately, can't connect. But one thing I would like to see Eagan do is try to get the ball over to this side where Villasenor is. It seems like every time the ball gets on his feet, he makes a good decision and executes well. He finds a teammate with the ball. We've had a few chances that his initial pass, while it looked simple at the time, really started things off on the right foot, as it were.
Hackenmuller finds Cy at the midfield. Cy's going to send it across, looking for Villasenor. Perhaps listening to you, Skip. Finds Lennartz in the middle. Lennartz going to play it back to Redlin. And again, with less than 3 minutes now to go in the half, Eagan needs to be careful here not to concede here in the half, as Newton's going to give chase. Nicely done by Alex Newton. They're going to call the foul there. That's a good call. It's a good call. The Peschman was making a nice run. Newton did a nice job of shielding him off with his body. Peschman commits the foul. Only the second foul here for the White Bear Lake Bears here in this first half.
Yeah, I'm always perplexed when a player fouls from behind. It is one of the most obvious fouls in soccer, and then the call is made and the player starts disagreeing with the referee's call. It's like, really? Like, you couldn't have made it more obvious if you tried. So sometimes you just got to, admit, hey, yep, I fouled him.
Substitutions for the Wildcats.
Well, and it's a situation where I agree with you, Skip. It's an easy call for referees to maintain control of the game because, of course, not making that call means Peschman either concedes either there's you get a corner or you concede a scoring opportunity, and so you don't want somebody to commit foul play and then be rewarded with a corner or a scoring opportunity.
And then those games that we've seen all too frequently in our children's soccer careers is if the ref's not making those calls, then eventually the players start taking matters into their own hands and things get really chippy and ugly.
Falls for Lennox. Lennox looks for Johnson, or excuse me, that's Jacob Tran making a run on the far side. Defense needs to reorganize itself here. Ball will be played back to Woodley. Woodley's going to find Villasenor, who's got all sorts of space, but he's waiting on the ball, and it gets intercepted. Villasenor's got to step to that ball and make sure it gets to him. Now he's got an opportunity as the referee has to get out of the way. 1 minute left. That ball's not going to get through, but it's going to fall close to Jensen. What can Jensen do here? He's back in the game and forward. Last minute safety first for the defense, no question about that. Bears are the better team right now on this field. And the fact that it's a 1-0 score is a positive thing here for these Wildcats as Villasenor has it blocked and then gets it back. Falls for Cron. Cron's gonna have to make something happen here. Draws the foul.
Oh, I like the quick restart. I mean, you're down to 16 seconds. Cron wisely knew he had to get that ball moving quickly. Unfortunately, he was about 7 or 8 yards too far up the field for the referee's liking, and that's going to end the half.
And Villasenor not paying attention as Ty plays it forward. That's really unfortunate. And the score will end 1-0.
It's the end of the first half.
1-0, excuse me, the score will end. The half will end 1-0 to the Bears. The Wildcats showed a few flashes of something positive, but at this point, a lot of frustration there in blue. As you see Cron talking to the referees coming off the side. And, Skip, it's 1-0 at the half. Wildcats are struggling, but they're only down by 1 goal.
Right, and one thing that I've noticed watching some of the players off the ball, when something doesn't connect for them, when it doesn't go the way they want, they're a little bit of the slumped shoulders. The body language is quite negative in a few instances, and it's almost like they feel like they're down 3 or 4 goals. And it's like, hey guys, it's a 1-goal game. It takes one play, and you tied it. And they just need to get a little more confidence and say, guys, we can get it back in this game. They're not better than us. They're out hustling us, but they're not. They're a beatable team, and I would love to see the Wildcats step it up and really just pick each other up and make some plays.
Well, we'll see here coming back for the second half. Thanks for joining us for the first half, and we'll be back in about 15 minutes here for the second half. You're watching Wildcat Soccer here on ETV.
Fire Prevention Week. I'm excited to get people back in the fire station. We'll have some good demos, interact with the public, have fire prevention table, some handout fun stuff for the kids too. So we like to educate but still have some fun at the same time. So we're really looking forward to it.
Welcome back to Eagan High School. The Wildcat boys varsity soccer action continues here for the second half against the White Bear Lake Bears. The score is 1-0 to the Bears. Scoring in the 15th minute, Connor Peschman, unassisted, found a way to scramble the ball into the net, and the Wildcats are going to have to find some answer here in the second half. Hello again, everybody. My name is Nathan Cron. I'm joined here in the booth by Skip Newton. And Skip, Wildcats were definitely the second best team on the field in that half, but they're only down 1-0. So what can they do here in the second half to come back?
You know, they need to get the ball to feet. They need to connect some passes. There was a couple of moments there in the first half where they appeared to do that really well, and they were able to move the ball down the field. Unfortunately, it wasn't the most common thing, and it's not that they're not trying. I mean, they're making pass attempts. We've just had a few where it's just been not executed correctly. Like they try to make a through ball, and instead of it getting it between the two defenders or around the outside guy, it's going to the defense, and they're able to either clear it out or gain possession. So just a little more accurate passes, and I think that will help generate, scoring opportunities, which is clearly what they need to do. I mean, 3 shots on goal to 12 is, 3 shots to 12. That's not good. So we need to just work together a little bit better. I think, clearly White Bear outplayed us in the first half for the majority of the first half. So you could argue, hey, we're fortunate to only be down a goal. And if they can just connect a little bit more, I really do think they can get this game tied. And the nice thing with the 1-goal game is if we tie the game, then all the momentum is going to be in our favor, and we're gonna be in a great shape to come back and maybe steal this game because, again, we got a lot of time left.
I think you're absolutely right, Skip. The Wildcats are going to be moving from right to left on your screen. We'll reset the lineup here in just a moment. We've got the Jensen brothers both on the field at the same time. Parker and Peyton Jensen at the front, along with Derek Sy here in the middle. Cron has moved back to the midfield position, as we've got Ty and Larson at your outside backs. We've got Newton and Redlin as your center backs. Villasenor in the midfield, along with Frost, and as I mentioned, the aforementioned Sy. Ball falls for Jensen. Jensen tries to send it towards his brother Peyton. Peyton actually might be playing in a midfield role. We'll have to see exactly how the shape takes place here. It shakes out. But strategic move moving Cron back to midfield because there's just not enough generation. As the ball now falls for Derek Sy. Derek tries to get by. It's a nice job there, and I'm a little surprised that the referee didn't give Derek a chance to try to finish that play. But it's going to be a foul, an early foul, in a good spot for the Wildcats.
Yeah, this is about as good as you're going to get as far as the angle on the goal. I mean, it's right at the 30 yards from the goal line, and it's dead center of the field. I mean, in my opinion, this is a shot opportunity and not trying to chip it in. That's what I would hope they're doing, but they do go for the chip instead. So didn't quite get under that ball to get it over the wall. But nice recovery by Cron to win possession back. Eagan defense. That's a huge play to come all the way back, because that was an opportunity for a counter attack there by the Bears, and the Wildcats shut it down. Yeah,
you could hear individuals in the crowd shouting counter, counter, counter. And that was absolutely, I think, what the Bears, and that's really what they did in the first half, Skip. They countered off of, play good defense and then quick counter. So we'll have to see what the Wildcats have here as Redlin gets caught along with Larson a little bit forward. And Larson, characteristically, as the senior captain, does a nice job of recovering. Very impressed with Caden Larson's play over the last handful of weeks and handful of games. He's really stepped up into a real leadership role out here for the Wildcats. And he's demonstrated some real ability going forward. And I think, to be honest, if the Wildcats are struggling to score goals, it's going to require some creativity. Here's a beautiful play in by check that's Wallach with a beautiful back heel, looking for Peschman on the side. And a foul by Peschman against Ty.
Called on the Bears. A free kick for the Wildcats will be taken.
So far, a good trend here for the Wildcats. A couple of early fouls here for the Bears.
So an interesting positional change. You called out a couple of them, when you were reviewing who was on the field, but they've pushed Ty to the outside and moved Villaseñor inside. It'll be interesting to see if that can help the Wildcats string together some more opportunities in the middle of the field to get the injury time out here.
Yeah, Ty started the year as an outside back and then moved to the center defensive midfield role, and now looks like he's back out at the outside back role. And Villaseñor in the middle, if when Emilio Villaseñor is on and in the groove, I think he can be very dangerous. I think the challenge is that he probably tries to do too much, and he probably tries to dribble sometimes through too many defenders. One defender he can beat one-on-one. 2 or 3 defenders in a waves are going to be really hard for him. And so if he gets the ball off his feet, he's going to be much more successful. As Jensen has the ball sent forward from Frost, earns a nice deep throw. I'd like to see Jensen bomb this, put this into the 6-yard box. Instead, he looks for Sy. Sy flips it over. Villaseñor looking for it, tries to get a foot to it. The ball's fumbled by Hunter, but he manages to come up with it. Nicely done by Hunter.
Offensive pressure, Emilio Villaseñor.
That is the second time this half already that an aggressive play by Parker Jensen to help win the ball on the far side resulted in a potential scoring chance. I love the, really just, seeing somebody step up and provide a spark. It's needed, and he's done it twice already, and we're only, just under 4 minutes of play so far. So that kind of thing can be contagious if it can keep going.
Nice tackle there by Newton. Cron with it. Now he's going to have some open space. Cron's going to send it forward, looking for Sy. Puts it on Sy's foot. Sy, nice job to get free. He's going to unleash the right foot, and it's going to slide just wide. Unlucky there for Derek. It was a good ball from Cron. Sy, magnificent control skip with a defender on his back. Spun and turned right foot. Just off. And already the Wildcats with a couple of early shots.
Yeah, for our viewers who haven't played soccer, I can't tell you enough how hard it is to play the ball, with your back to the goal and have a defender right on your back, and to not only control it, but then use your body and your foot skills to spin the defender and get by them for either, dribbling into open space or getting a shot off.
Oh, look at
nice
Larson
move.
by 2 defenders on his right foot, tries to slide it across, can't find Jensen, won't fall for Sy, and Villaseñor is going to try to track it down. Nicely done by Villaseñor. That was brilliant, and he earns the throw. Sometimes there's a tendency to be just a little too cute. That time it wasn't cute at all. It was rather pretty.
I do love the creativity. That was beautiful.
Utterly confused as to how that's a foul, if I'm honest. Parker Jensen's back is to the player, and the player jumped into Parker Jensen. I think Jensen sometimes loses the battle of physics. He's big and he's strong and he's fast, and sometimes when people go flying, everybody thinks it's Parker's fault. It's not necessarily his fault. But he creates opportunities. He creates a dynamic out there with his size skip that's unlike anything that you've seen from forwards in the South Suburban Conference or anywhere else. There just are not a lot of big, fast forwards out there. And he has a lot of straight line speed.
Yeah, we see that going the other way too, right? The big guy doesn't get the call, but then the little player gets knocked down and will almost always get it, even though it might have been a perfectly clean play.
That's right. Cron loses it in the middle. He's got to do a little better job of connecting.
Nice pressure.
Nice pressure by Peyton Jensen. They're going to call. I don't believe they're going.
Whistle prior to the shot.
I'm not sure exactly. The whistle was blown, but there's no signal yet. I think they're going to call Peyton Jensen for a foul. I think an argument could be made that Jensen was the aggrieved party. The center referee having a talk with the Bears, letting him know he's got it. In any event, it'll be a free kick for the Bears. Second foul here for the Wildcats here in the second half.
Frankel, number 4 on the kick for White Bear Lake.
Center referee should be careful. Talking to Bears can be dangerous.
Well, at least he's not feeding the Bears.
Right.
If you feed the Bears, you're in real big trouble. Villaseñor with it, flips, tries to find Jensen. Jensen does a nice job. Sy takes an elbow in the face. Cron thinks about taking it quickly. Nicely done there by Cron to take it early. Try to take it early, but or at least make the threat. Cron's got to do something special with this ball. He's got to get it into a place where somebody on the other end can do something with it.
Oh, that's a great ball. Almost too good.
Ball just drifted on Jensen.
That one just carried a lot farther than I thought it was. I thought that thing was going to drop about a good 7-8 yards off the goal line. Instead, it got almost out of bounds on its own, without anyone even having a chance at it. That was too well struck.
Yeah, you can often, as you know, Skip, often players and fans can tell what's going to happen when off the sound of the ball off the foot of the player. And that, that time, I agree with you, it sounded a lot softer than it was as Jensen gets the ball from Larson. I think Jensen takes a tumble. Villasenor sends it forward. Sy pressures, nicely done. Jensen climbing a ladder, not finding anything at the top. And the ball's eventually gonna, Jensen's getting hacked down there by Dufresne. Jensen's gonna win it, amazing. Finds Sy, nicely done. Sy sends it in. Falls for Cron. Cron's gonna try to send it forward. Cron a little bit too ambitious with that shot.
Goal kick.
Yeah, that was a great series by Jensen. He probably wasn't making any friends on the Bears team, but just the physicality and, again, the spark, right? I mean, that's now both Jensen brothers providing a spark. I liked how Cron stepped up. Like you said, that's a tough volley from that distance. I mean, that would have been a heck of a shot on goal. But the Wildcats need shots. They need to produce some offense. So I'm not going to fault them for that.
Redland giving chase, putting it into touch. Wildcats, Skip, have actually changed their formation. They now have 3 forwards. They have the Jensens on either side of Derek Sy, and they have Cron, Villasenor, and Frost in the midfield. So they've moved to a 4-3-3. It's a tactical change by Coach Tim Foley. Cron's going to get whistled for the foul there. He's just got to be a little more subtle in that shoulder-to-shoulder challenge.
Yeah, you see it right here on the contact.
Foul call on the Wildcats. Free kick
Unfortunately,
for the Bears.
Just a little too much.
This will be number 36.
I learned
Joe
at halftime that I get to draw over here, so another challenge in my early broadcasting career.
Great save by Isaac Woodley. The ball fell for White Bear, and I'm not sure how he was stayed onside, but he did stay onside. And Isaac Woodley was really one-on-one on an island by himself and managed to knock that ball down. The longer this game stays at 1 goal, the better off the Wildcats are going to be. And Isaac Woodley is going to be one of the key contributors to that. I want to thank our ETV crew providing you, Skip, the opportunity to play with a telestrator. We've got Dalton Gruber, Joe Chupik, and Dylan Straub here at Wildcat Stadium. Of course, if you're interested in doing any volunteer work with ETV, working a camera or learning some of the other technology, you have that opportunity as Cron sends it forward for Jensen. Jensen finds Sy. Sy maintains his balance in some fashion. Tries to go through a couple of defenders. Had 3 defenders smothering him. Nice step up by Donald Ty. And Larson will clean it up. Larson a little ambitious there. That's another situation, Skip, where they really, I would like to see the Wildcats play easy, play gentle, play easy, and wait for things to open up.
So you took a moment to thank the crew, and I want to say thank you to Eagan TV in general for broadcasting so many of these Eagan Wildcat sports. It allows friends and family to watch the players, that clearly don't have an opportunity to make it to the game. And I just have to call out some Alex Newton's Newton family. You've got his sister watching from the University of Minnesota. That's not too far away. But he's got the Hires down in Texas, and then the Cheragowskis all the way in Italy watching the game today on Eagan TV online.
Here's a ball in from Jensen. It finds Parker Jensen. Parker Jensen scrambles it in. Oh, Jensen to Jensen. Little brother sets the table, and older brother finishes dessert. It's 1-1, Wildcats and Bears.
Just a great hustle play here by Jensen, and you watch as he runs through the ball, and then he wins it. It's a tap, and he's all alone. You talked about the speed and the power and the physicality of Parker Jensen. That is exactly what happened there. He won that ball, and he kept his body in front of it and ran through it. Even though the goalkeeper got his hands on it, he was able to move it right in and play it past the goalkeeper, and then it's an easy tap. And we talked about the spark. That's the spark. They just seem to be more intense and more aggressive this half. It's like a different Wildcat team.
Substitutions for the Wildcats. Back in Davis Hackenmuller, number 6. Into the game, Aiden Burns, number 21.
Another
Back
foul on
in
Cron in the
number
midfield. He's going to have to
18.
be careful here. The referee's probably not going to let Cron commit too many more fouls before he books him for persistent infringement. We'll have to wait for the official scoring, but I think it's going to be Jensen from Jensen as the ball's played for Cy.
Scoring for the Wildcats, an unassisted goal scored by number 22, Parker Jensen.
Now they're going to say it's unassisted to Parker Jensen. I think that's a bit harsh, if I'm honest. I think that's a bit harsh because I think Jensen and Cy were both there. But in any event, I have to be honest with you, Skip Newton. I'm not sure I'd want to, if Parker Jensen's running at me full speed, I'm not sure I want to get in front of him.
No.
I think the goalie probably looked up and had the soccer equivalent of hearing footsteps in football from a defensive back attacking a wide receiver. That would unnerve me, seeing somebody that big and strong piling at me, wondering if he's going to be able to pull up or not.
Well, and as a general rule, goalkeepers at this level, they have to be pretty much fearless. If you are afraid of running into another player or getting blasted in the face with the ball, then goalkeeper is not the position for you, because it's intense, and you have plays like that where you are running out there, you've got a guy the size of Parker Jensen barreling down on you, and you're sliding and putting yourself in a very vulnerable position. And they all do such a good job of doing that, and that's why there's rules in place to protect them.
Hackenmuller looking for Cy after Cy gave it to Hackenmuller. Burns sends it over for, I believe that's Tran. Parker Jensen loads up again, fires, and it's saved that time by Hunter. It's a nice ball earlier from Newton to Cy to set that sequence up.
That was a great cross, a switch of the field there, then setting up Jensen for a good low, hard shot.
Change in the scoring on the Wildcat goal. The goal now reads, the goal scored by number 22, Parker Jensen, and the assist to number 7, Peyton Jensen at 52-14.
My man Nathan Cron calling it the Jensen to Jensen combo as the stat correction is made official.
Ball gets played through. Redland comes over. Nicely done. Behind him, he's got Ty and Newton filling in, and the official scoring is corrected, and that's really what it should have been all along. And like that play, and I think honestly, Parker Jensen is a big body, and there's multiple types of strikers, Skip Newton, but he's not necessarily a back to the goal type of player. As the Bears slice through, that ball's going to go across the goal mouth. I'm not sure what everybody was thinking. Jensen's going to win this one. Take that, Hackenmuller's going to have it. He's going to have an opportunity to send it forward. And they've got 2-on-1 if they hurry, if they get control of this ball. And they don't, but Hackenmuller's going to close them down, try to slow up play. I'm not sure. I think White Bear might have been offsides there, but the ball never came to the player, so the referee never had to raise his flag. Jacob Tran with it on the far side. Nicely done, playing easy. Back to Tran. Cron directing traffic. Tran looks for Cy. Cy can't get ahead to it. The ball falls in an area that Jensen gets to make a run. He's got Hackenmuller, who needs to get a touch to that ball. Jensen's got to try to get a ball there. And this three forwards at the front has got a little more pressure offensively here for the Wildcats, Skip.
Yeah, that front line and the change is definitely causing some confusion for the back line of the Bears. Hopefully that continues and they can keep the pressure on. We're
going to have a blue throw here. A little bit of controversy there, but I think for You at home who had the great ETV camera angle, you probably don't have any doubt in your mind what happened.
Back in the game,
Donald Ty's going to step aside.
12,
Jacob Brassow is going to come in.
Ty, number 4.
Really good half there by Ty there on the outside midder. I think he looks comfortable. He's made some great possession plays, some good decisions. I'm liking what I'm seeing from him. Here's an opportunity for Jensen again.
Opportunity still around for the Wildcats. Tran pressuring. Now it's turned over to the Bears, and the Bears will send it forward. Brassow, nicely done. Those very visible cleats. The ball comes forward for Jensen. Jensen will give chase. I think that ball's going to roll out of bounds eventually. Whoa, eventually run out of bounds. I'd like to see Jensen take it easy there. You certainly don't want to draw an extra foul or a card. It's going to get you taken off the field. I think sometimes when you're a big body, it's kind of hard to slow down, Skip.
Yeah, I'm sure that was just momentum, or perhaps he was just introducing himself to his opponent, trying to be friendly out there, but got a little too close. Nice ball.
Cron gets tomahawked at the 35-yard line. That was a ball. That contact was towards the upper, near his head. I think he's rightfully aggrieved that was. If you're going to get close, to a yellow card, that might have been close.
So where Cron wants to drop this in is right in this area, right in here. That's his target. See if he can execute that. Right about the 18 to the 15.
Cron directing traffic. He's having everybody line up on the far side. Referee still talking to number 3, Nicholas O'Brien. The clock is stopped. I think smartly done by the referee to make sure that, multiple seconds and minutes are not wasted talking to players. Cron sends it in. It's a good ball.
A lot on it.
It finds Jensen's head, but can't quite get it on net. Redland's going to have an opportunity. Oh, and Redland's going to get called for the foul. That's really unlucky. I thought Redland was there. Tran doing a nice job of slowing down the kick. That's certainly good tactically, but from a sportsmanship standpoint, it's always something that rankles me as a referee.
I'm never a fan of it either, especially once the game is well underway and people do it repeatedly. I think if I were a referee, I wouldn't have the patience, especially on a football field where it's fairly obvious where the 10-yard mark is.
Redland's going to send this ball out for a corner. And the Bears will have their first corner of the half.
Corner kick upcoming for White Bear Lake. This is their first of the second half and 5th of the game. For White Bear Lake, Calvin McKinney, number 20, back in. On the kick, Joe Wallach, number 36.
Wallach will take the kick
side.
for the Bears. See if he'll try to get it in. He plays it short. Ball comes back out to him. Nicely done there by Newton. Newton's got lots of space in front of him. He's going to hoof it forward for Cy. That's always a good plan. They've got 2-on-2 with a trailer. Hackenmuller trailing. Can Cy set him up? Cy's going to put the left foot to it, and Cy's going to send it over the goal. Oh, Derek Cy with perhaps a bit too ambitious a decision. Yeah, Davis Hackenmuller, who we couldn't hear from up here, Skip, was Davis screaming for that ball. If Derek lays that out for him, Hackenmuller gets it on his right foot, might have a better chance of scoring.
Yeah, I'm not going to fault Cy for making that call because he was open. I mean, he worked himself into a good shot. But if you give up the pass there to Hackenmuller, we already talked about what a cannon of a right foot shot he has. It also frees up Cy to make a run and potentially get in position for a rebound. But again, at full speed there, he knows he's in the clear. That's a tough ball to give up.
Here's another run by Jensen, and he's going to earn a corner for the Wildcats. Their first of the second half. Momentum certainly, you're absolutely correct, Skip. After the goal, the momentum's really been on the Wildcats side.
First of the second half and second of the game. From the far side, it is Davis Hackenmuller, number 6 with the kick.
Hackenmuller will stand over it. He's got Jensen and Cy in the middle. Cron trailing. Actually, he's got both Jensens in the middle. Peyton Jensen trying to make a run. Cron sends it towards the goal. It almost sneaks through. It's still in danger. And it's going to go out for a goal kick.
Goal kick
Nice
for the
opportunity there.
Bears. Header
Good job by
number
Cron to
22,
send it back
Parker
into the
Jensen
mixer.
is out of bounds.
Found, I thought, Jensen perhaps. We're going to have an injury.
Play right here by Cron. That is such a tough volley. We saw him attempt that earlier from much farther out. He had more momentum, so you could get more on it. But here, it was perfectly played. The goal there, other than obviously putting it in the net, is just get it in front, keep it in play, and look for a bounce, look for a teammate. Anything you can do to find a way to get it into the goal. And a really brilliant corner kick there by Hackenmuller, and then well played as Eagan won the ball a couple of times, setting up a really good scoring chance. 19 minutes to play. The momentum so far is on Eagan's side.
And just a reminder, ETV will be back on Monday night with boys and girls varsity soccer action against Burnsville here at Eagan Stadium. It will be a combined BTV, ETV presentation. We'll have all sorts of fancy family. Well, we'll have families too. Fancy camera views and replays and all sorts of other fun things that will hopefully give us some great action and some good opportunities, and a huge section game for both teams as they try to get either home games or seating in their section. So join us on Monday night, the 4th of October, for some great back-to-back boys and girls soccer varsity action.
That was an interesting timeout as both teams cleared the field. I'm not really sure what that was about. You don't usually see that in soccer. It didn't look like the injury was severe enough to warrant that, but going to get back into live play here.
Cron tries to find it, can't. Finds Tran. Cron hoofs it. Oh, Cron fired a bullet. Caught Sai a little hard. I think Cron might have taken a little bit off that. Might have been a little more successful. Hackenmuller's going to give chase now here for the Wildcats. Cron's going to step into it. Finds Jensen. Peyton Jensen sends it over for Sai. Sai falls down. And I don't know how you call a foul on Derek Sai. He's falling down himself. He's falling down himself. I'm utterly confused. How do you have a player who's falling down himself and the other player falls over him, yet you're going to go blow a whistle on the Wildcat player? I don't get that. And then, of course, Aiden Burns commits a foul on the other end. So let's reset that lineup for you. You've got Burns and Brassow at the outside back positions. You still have Newton and Redlin at your center back positions. Hackenmuller, Cron, and Tran are your midfielders, with the Jensen brothers and Derek Sai at the forward positions.
So one thing I would like to see here, and I saw it on the corner kick and it was great, Parker Jensen came all the way back from his outside forward spot to defend the taller guy in the middle, this guy right here. You can see they've moved Cron on it, which is good, because you don't want a shorter player, in this case, Newton was stepping up, or, Hackenmuller's in the wall. But Jensen came back to guard the taller player, and those matchups are crucial on these balls that are likely to be won in the air.
Ball gets sent across by the Bears. Nice training ground play there by the Bears. Just did not come off for them. Ball gets sent forward to Parker Jensen. Parker's going to use his big body. He's going to get it around. He's absolutely, yep. And that's going to be a foul on the Bears. And I think the Bears player got the worst end of that. If you're going to mess with the bull, you're going to get the horns.
I mean, yeah, he absolutely was holding him up. And Parker, finally, as he was going down, took the other player with him, but the right call was made. I mean, that was absolutely preventing Parker from advancing down the field, and he had his guy beat.
Jensen sends it in, and it does fall that time, not for Sai, but I think if you're going to, it looks like we have an injury. I think we have an injury. Yep, we do have an injury here for the Bears. Give me a chance to talk a little bit about our sponsors. Eagan High School Boys and Girls Soccer Booster Clubs would like to thank the following for their contributions to our soccer program. The platinum sponsors: Eagan Arms Public House. Great Reuben there. I really like the Reuben. Eagan Hockey Association, Wave Soccer Club, Elite Feet Training, Minnesota Orthodontics, and Summit Orthopedics. The gold sponsors: Birchwood Dental, Rami Cormont at Coldwell Banker, Divine Salon, Dunn Brothers Coffee, John and Melanie Willie at Edina Realty, North Oaks Blast Soccer Club, and the Urgency Room. Thanks also to Wave Soccer Club for providing the ball kids for today's game. As you see along the sideline, sometimes you can see them in the camera angle. Burns chucks it into the box, into the mixer. It's played out. This is where the White Bear is so dangerous. Nice step by Redlin. Here's an opportunity. Oh, somebody needed to come back for that ball. Here's an opportunity for the Bears. Woodley's going to have to make a magnificent save. Isaac Woodley, perhaps save of the game, perhaps even of the season for the Wildcats.
If there's an MVP of the second half, my first vote is going to Parker Jensen. But Woodley absolutely is the second one. As you watch that, we got caught beat. Look at that diving save. And not only does he make the save, but he punches the ball out here where only an Eagan player can get to it. That is a crucial save for the Wildcats. You know, potentially, like you said, saving the game.
For the Wildcats, back in Michael Johnson.
Oh, and it might even be the save of the season. I mean, it might be the save of the season if the Wildcats get a draw here or come back and get the win. You know, that type of a play may be the thing that gives them the momentum they need, and that kind of result gives them the momentum they need to win their next 2 games against Shakopee and Burnsville and get a home game for sections, and something good happens.
Right, and the technique that Woodley used there was really flawless. He comes off the line, you know, cutting off the angle, but then when the ball was shot, he was set and ready to move laterally. If he were still moving forward or backwards, either way, it's really hard to react to the shot and move laterally. But he set himself and made a perfect diving save. That was just textbook goalkeeping there by Woodley.
Hackenmuller will give chase. Gonna lean a little bit there. Nicely done by Hackenmuller to win the throw.
There's a perfect example there of how soccer is a physical game, and you can use your shoulder to position yourself, but not doing it so much that it warrants a foul call, whether you get your arms up, you know, the chicken wing they call it, or you just extend it, or you push a little too aggressively. Hackenmuller really executed that well.
Burns and Brassau are your outside. We did have some substitutions.
I was just going to say, I noticed Sai came out of the game. My guess, with 14 minutes left, he's not going to be out long.
You heard a scream from Cron. I think he may have turned his ankle. Did not go. There was the foul called on White Bear.
See, I'm looking at the replay now, and I don't see exactly what happened. It didn't look like it was as a result of contact. It might have been when he was making a cut. It just turned a little funny on him.
I think he slipped.
Sure.
I think he slipped. I think he slipped.
Now, the delayed call is that he was fouled earlier.
Yes.
And once he went down, the advantage was lost.
Oh, that's going to go for a goal kick. Oh, unlucky there. I thought
that should be a corner.
That should be a corner. It is. Okay, it is. It is. All right, the referee did signal. He pointed, but he didn't raise his arm at 45 degrees. He was more like at 8 degrees, and I couldn't tell. So the Wildcats will have their second corner here of the half. Hackenmuller will stand over it.
Davis Hackenmuller on the
number of Wildcats packed into the 6-yard box. What can Davis come up with here? He has scored off a corner earlier in the year.
You see Johnson right in front of the goalkeeper. That's a great play, trying to blind the keeper so he can't see.
Cron flicks it towards Newton. Newton, nice job, nice control. Newton finds Hackenmuller. Hackenmuller sends it to the...
Nice.
Tries to go to the corner. Hackenmuller sends it in towards the net.
That was a great play by Davis.
It was, absolutely was. Now Burns has got a big body and a big arm. I'd love to see him really chuck this ball towards the 6, and of course he doesn't.
They played the possession game instead. Oh, nice move. Well defended.
I think they're going to go, yep, we're going out for a goal kick. 12 minutes left in the game, and certainly Skip Newton, you have to think that any goal scored, the next goal scored now is probably going to be the difference in the match. Lots of pressure here on the Wildcats and now on the Bears, because in the second half, they have not produced a lot of, other than the one breakaway from the defensive breakdown by the Wildcats, the Bears have not produced a lot of good scoring opportunities. Foul there against the Bears. So the foul's evening up. Cron takes it quickly. Tries to find Frost. Frost, I'm not sure if Frost saw it coming or not. The Wildcats have got to be quicker.
Oh, that's a dangerous.
Absolutely. That might be earning a yellow card. Cron sends it in for Jensen.
He's on sides.
Checks it. That's Johnson out there. Jensen and Johnson, and we have offsides because Johnson was offsides.
Yeah, you always get yourself into trouble as a forward when you work it down deep and then you pass it back. Just the natural reaction of people is to follow the ball, and so they all start moving up. And if you don't move with them, you basically put yourself in an offsides position.
To finish the point, if you're gonna try to take it fast, your teammates have got to be faster. You cannot allow that to happen. There's a good ball through, looking for Wallach.
That was a nice switch there by Brassow and Newton. As Brassow realized that Newton was cutting over to cut off the attack, he immediately headed right to the middle of the field. We saw that earlier. Again, as they play more together, it's going to become more natural for them. And it's a pretty natural play for defenders to make, but good communication, I assume, there.
Headed by Redland. Cron flicks it, but it doesn't get out. Falls for Redland. Ball does fall. Hackenmuller gets caught in the air. The ball's going to roll off for a goal kick. With Cy leaving the field, it looks, at least from this perspective, it looks like the Wildcats have gone back to 4 in the midfield, with the Jensens still up at the strike pair, but Johnson, Hackenmuller, Frost, and Cron in the midfield.
If they bring Cy back in, I would like to see them go back to the formation that they were using earlier that's produced so many scoring chances. I like his speed, his physicality, and his athleticism up on that front line. The more pressure you put on the White Bear Lake back line, the better off we're going to be. You're going to force mistakes and make plays.
And ball goes out of bounds there for a deep blue throw. Interesting that earlier in the game, Cy was playing in the midfield, kind of playing that center attacking midfielder role.
Number 13, Michael Johnson.
And then was moved to kind of a center forward position as Ryan Leonards checks in for Johnson. Again, Leonards, one of the guys on this team that's scored some goals consistently here for the Wildcats. Hackenmuller trying to get it on his right foot, can't quite do it. Ball falls for the Bears. Burns is going to give a little bit of a chase, and now Redland is going to have to get on his horse. Sends it towards Woodley. Woodley smartly pounds it out of bounds and puts it into touch.
Some great plays and decisions there by the Wildcats. First down in that attacking spot, Hackenmuller had the ball, potentially with a really tough left-footed shot. I don't mind him trying to get that over to his right. He needs to turn that where he can get a great strike on the ball. And then back here on defense, Redland made a fantastic play to prevent a potential scoring chance.
Corner coming up now for the Bears. Their second of the half, sixth of the game.
Second half.
It's really interesting to me how there's nobody in front of Woodley, the goalkeeper. I don't understand why a team wouldn't want to create. That was close. Why a team would not want to create confusion in front of the other team's goalkeeper. You don't have to put 2-3 guys in there, but put one guy in there just to make him uncomfortable.
That's a great punt by Woodley. Parker Jensen's got to get there, and he does roll off out for a throw, but often those punts are played by the defenders, knocked down and that kind of thing. But that time, the ball got over everybody. Like to see Parker try to make that run a little bit earlier. And sometimes it's recognition. Sometimes people don't think of soccer as a mental game. A lot of mental requirements, a lot of mental understanding to know where to be and what to do. Knowing the tendency of your teammates is incredibly important.
Yeah, and you get a deep punt like that. That's the rare opportunity for a goalkeeper to maybe get an assist.
Yes, that too.
He's like, come on, man, I punted it past the whole team. At least help me out here.
That too. So Leonard's has now the Wildcats look like they've moved back into that 4-3-3 with Leonard's taking the center forward position. Leonard's the junior captain again, and as we said, is now back finally from injury as Newton cleans up the garbage.
Nice job preventing the attack. Unfortunately, the pass didn't go to a teammate. Now we're going to have a late call.
Well, there was a foul around the 40-yard line. The referee signaled advantage. He didn't yell anything, but he signaled advantage and then let play continue for a good couple of seconds until Burns kicked the ball. And honestly, I think you've played your advantage at that point. I'm surprised. This is rather generous to give the Bears a free kick here.
Perfect ball, dropping that exactly where you want to, right into that area right here. Well played.
Whistle handball violation on the Wildcats.
Jensen brothers having a discussion as to who needs to be where.
You know, that pass, obviously didn't result in what the Wildcats were looking for, but I noticed that the pass up to the forward was right to his foot. I mean, it was a perfectly placed ball, and we've seen a lot more of that this half on the Wildcats, and it's clearly producing more opportunities.
Wildcats a little bit of an ant scramble here. Their shape is not good. Ty's header comes back into the box, played over by Leonard's. White Bear doing a nice job of falling down there. I was going to say falling. Oh, Nicholas Cron puts it right into Leonard's heel. Hackenmuller tries with it. Hackenmuller goes down.
I think he ran right into an elbow there.
I think they're going to call a foul. I have to say, despite a couple of question marks on 50-50 calls, I think the game's been refereed very well today. I mean, it's certainly been consistent, and I haven't seen a lot of inconsistency or anything like that. It's a nice little spin there by the Bears. Ty
trying to decide if that was intentional or if he lost sight of the ball. Oof.
Cron takes a check. No foul there as Ty gets taken down. Burns is going to come in and clean that up.
I thought those two non-calls were a little inconsistent with what we've seen called today.
Absolutely, yeah. Just as I'm complimenting the referee, all of a sudden you're right, Skip.
So clearly you're the one to blame.
Yes.
Good.
It's the commentator's curse.
Jeez.
And we're going to have another foul that time. This Ty's going to get taken down from behind.
Now called on White Bear Lake. Free kick for the Wildcats.
There's a lot of referees up here in the stands that didn't appreciate those non-calls.
And well, with 3 minutes left, just over 3 minutes left in the game, Wildcats really need to find something. They need to find some magic here in the attacking third. Falls for Jensen. Jensen's going to do what he can to try to get. I'm not sure how that's. I'm surprised that that's a White Bear throw, but referees obviously have a better view than we do. Is Villaseñor is going to come back on for Davis Hackenmuller.
Number 6 for the Bears. Back in the game is Gavin Rogers, number 9.
Rogers, number 9, comes back in.
15,
he's their big gun. He's scored 9 goals this year for the Bears.
Really good half a play there by Hackenmuller. The length of names in the second half of Wildcats who have stepped up and had really good halves is quite long. They are playing a very good half of football here.
Yeah, you'd like to see it pay off, wouldn't you, Skip Newton?
Yes, absolutely. Good patience there.
Nice job. Villaseñor is going to have to come over now. Ball gets hoofed forward, falls for Redlin. Redlin's going to be safety first here, take it to the outside. Couldn't quite get under it, but nonetheless, Redlin's going to do what he can to make sure that ball goes nowhere. That's going to be dangerous.
Nice job of keeping his body in front of the ball. That could have been a tricky hop, and if that gets by him, it's a world of trouble.
Ball gets played out by somebody. I'm not sure if that came off a Bear or off a Wildcat. Senor misses the tackle. Oh, there's a great ball in. The ball gets sent out of bounds.
Goal kick, Wildcats.
That was Peschman, the goal scorer for the Bears in the first half. Had an opportunity there and just could not finish his dinner. Ball gets flicked through. Here's an opportunity. Jensen needs to keep this run going. Doing a nice job that time.
Excellent hustle by Jensen, putting pressure on. It didn't result in winning the ball, but you never know if the goalkeeper in that clearing
1 minute
attempt kicks
remaining
it
in the
too
second
low.
half, and in regulation time, 1 minute.
Woodley cleans it up there. And to remind you, we have less than a minute to go here in regulation. We will have an overtime period if this game remains tied at the end of regulation. It will be 2 5-minute extra time periods with both teams defending one end and then switching and defending the other. So we're going to see if the Wildcats in the last 25 seconds can dial up some magic here in the third, the attacking third. Leonard gets it onto his feet and then loses it. Comes for Ty. Ty for Frost. Frost for Villasenor. Villasenor can't quite get it off his feet. I think we're going to be going here to extra time. And we will indeed have extra time here in Eagan. At the end of regulation, Eagan 1, White Bear Lake 1. Stick around. We are going to have overtime or extra time here for the Wildcats and the Bears. Skip, what do these Wildcats have to do to unlock the Bears defense?
They need to keep the pressure on. They need to get that spark back that they had. They got it early in the second half. It was a lot of play by Parker Jensen. Then his brother Peyton jumped in, and between the two of those combining with Derek Sy, they really formed a great front line and created a lot of scoring chances. And then what you saw is that it got contagious. The rest of the guys started picking up their game. They got more aggressive. Nicholas Kron making play. Davis Hackenmuller's making play. The defense stepping up in front of forwards to win those balls and keep the ball into the Bears' end. I mean, they need to do more of that. And of course, let's not forget, I mean, a massive save by Isaac Woodley, the senior goalkeeper. I mean, maintaining the 1-1 tie back when really the Wildcats had all the momentum. And here is that replay of that save. I mean, just a brilliant play there. And a nice job by the Wildcats after that to control that rebound.
We're having a discussion. I'm not sure if our camera's picking it up or not, but we're having a discussion on the far sideline between the referees and the head coaches. I'm not sure if there's a discussion here as to whether we want to continue the game or not. I think
this is weird.
This is very strange. I was under the impression that we would have extra time, but the way everyone's shaking hands, it sure seems like we might be done.
Non-conference game.
It's a because it's a non-conference game, it will end in a tie. There will not be an overtime period here between the Bears and the Wildcats. So despite the fact that we promised you some extra soccer, we're going to fail to deliver on that promise. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of a bit sheepish because I think I knew that rule from earlier in the year. Conference games get overtime, non-conference games don't. Final score here, Eagan Wildcats 1, White Bear Lake Bears 1. A tale of two halves, Skip Newton. I mean, we were talking about it just a moment ago, but really, Wildcats outplayed in the first half. They're down 1-0 at half. They outplay White Bear in the second half, and thanks to a great save by Isaac Woodley, we have a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, it turned out to be a fantastic game of soccer. We predicted a close game. They obviously delivered that. Quite amazing how different the game was in the two halves. You nailed it right there, Nate. And you know, I'll have to fully admit I did not know that rule. So I learned something new today, and it's always a good day when you learn something. So no free soccer today, but again, thank you everyone for listening. It's been great having you. It's been great being part of, Eagan TV and Eagan Soccer, and we got a lot of games coming up this week.
Well, thanks for joining me here in the booth here, Skip, and hopefully you'll continue to do that in the future. For all of our ETV crew, Dalton Gruber, Joe Chupik, and Dylan Straub, I'm Nathan Cron. Thank you very much for joining us for Eagan Wildcat Boys Varsity Soccer. We'll see you on Monday night when the Wildcats, both boys and girls, take on the Burnsville Blaze. Thanks very much for watching ETV. Have a good day, everybody.